Hi, I'm Will, I'm the Bald Book Geek, and this video is kind of a thank you video to the people that commented on my Rachel Marie one. Like I said in that one, it's kind of still a weird situation a year later, it's still kind of left a mark. Toxic gaslighting and abusive behaviour is not a nice thing, to say the least, on the subject, and Rachel Marie was a prime example of those things. From weaponizing her mental health to air quotes, mental health to fallacies to all of this stuff. I covered it in the other video. But this video is me reading out some of the amazing comments I've got. This isn't all of the comments. There were some great ones. I picked out ones that drew comparison in the conversation. So if I haven't read out your comment, it's nothing personal. Before anyone says that, I just wanted to kind of make sure that you guys know. And every comment on that video meant the world to me. I was surprised I didn't get crucified by people because of that one, but also I know that Rachel's probably seen the video by now just because of where the viewers have come from, certain messenger and voice apps such as Voxer and things, Facebook Messenger, so she's probably seen it. I have no sympathy for Rachel, but this video is a complete thank you, and I've actually didn't realise how far this went with a lot of people. So, here we go. And Emily Rose Dreams. So, I'm sorry this happened to you. I would say Reed's, a person I referenced in the video, Reed's with Rachel, is exactly the same, and I will not come back until she is gone. Maybe not even then, because it's really not worth it anymore with this air quotes community. It's why I took a step out, and, I mean, I've had some interesting experiences with certain people. Reads with Rachel is one of them. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I have a strong dislike of her on a personal level, but also on other levels. But, you know, it's true. It should be about reading. It should be about people enjoying reading, not this toxic atmosphere. Okay, this comment kind of made me giggle. But then, it's true. It's such a true comment, and Amy, thank you. I'm so glad I found you through this, and I want to say, you're always welcome in my comments. So she put, this video popped up in my feed this morning, and I'm like, she's back, dun dun dun, click, and then you began speaking, and this is got me almost in tears. I'm pretty sure she's involved somewhere. This is the equivalent of checking the lock several times while inside your home after someone has violated your personal space. I hope talking about it has helped you. And that's how it feels. I feel violated. I still feel this cringiness, and knowing that, I say knowing, but a lot happened and a lot went down that just, it made me uncomfortable. Her behaviour, her knowing that she had people following me, and the theory. You know, you can look up IP addresses. It's not particularly difficult, and I knew Rachel's location because she was very public about it. A lot of the troll comments I was getting around that time all came from the same location. Some of the IP addresses, now looking back, I didn't look deep enough with some of them, but they were all within the same sort of location. So yeah, it was weird. Same city. Some of them mobile, some of them static, Starbucks, Wi-Fi type things. It's weird. It's so weird. Including workplace, which was kind of a red flag. But yeah, it is the equivalent of that. And it's so strange. It's such a weird feeling. Like I said in a previous one, Rachel reminds me of an ex of mine who was like that, and now looking back, the red flags are just boom, boom, boom. So I found her channel. Amy, you're brilliant. Do check her out, by the way. She's fantastic, and she's a new smallish channel, so that's always cool. This was a reply to the comment above. I wish I could relate, but I do. I wish I couldn't relate, but I do. I may not have been harmed by this person, but I know people like them. There is a reason I myself don't add new friends online to my personal social media unless I met them or confused in an online chat, in a live chat. I'm afraid of those friend requests. They could be yet another fake account created to be stalkery. I hate that many I follow in the book community are now so guarded because of this behaviour in the past. You took the time to open up about your experience. I know that you could open up. I know that you can open yourself up to feels, and even if the distance is the time of the buffer, yes, they leave a mark, one that will undoubtedly be cited by cautionary example of how to recognise TNB. So, narcissistic bullies, toxic narcissistic bullies. And it's true. That's the thing. Sorry about my English in that one. I'm tired. As you can tell, I'm filming this at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's true, though. And it has made me guarded. It has made me less likely to follow people. It has made me... I have a rule on my social media. I will follow you back if you interact with me in some way. My public social media, but that's about it. I just don't anymore. And it's partly because of this. It's such a surreal experience, and I've never truly understood it, and there's a lot left unanswered. I do feel like certain other people need to speak out, and there are certain people that are hypocritical in this because they do exactly the same stuff as Rachel Marie. So, there we go. So, this comment come from QINE. I'm not sure how to say your name. QNI? Anyway, I'm sorry if I butchered that. I was not aware of how bad people can act. She sounds borderline, and that's super sad, but I agree that you should protect yourself, and it takes huge courage to talk about this in a way you did. I hope she changes and gets a new chance outside of BookTube, and I hope you can regain some trust. It's true. It did affect my trust. It affected how I saw people. It affected how I dealt with people. And it made me put walls up because I didn't know if it was her. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So, yeah, you kind of... Yeah, it's a weird situation. So, Paperback Mo. Hi! Gaslighting behaviour is always terrible. Yes. And that's the thing. Her gaslighting was bizarre. Passive-aggressive threats, passive-aggressive replies to tweets. It was so strange. And she would gaslight you into thinking you were wrong. It was abusive behaviour at the end of the day. Her behaviour was abusive. And, I mean, she reminded me of an ex. That kind of abusive gaslighting. You're wrong, and I'm going to... Even though I'm completely bullying you into saying this. So, yeah. The next two comments... I can't say your username, so I'm not going to attempt to butcher it. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is the good man to do nothing. You did good. And thank you, that comment meant a lot. I highlighted that one because I was quite surprised by that one. Thank you. Isabel Owens. I don't know much about Rachel or her controversy. But why spend all this time and energy keeping up a facade and tons of accounts when you could be reducing your TBR? Some of these booktubers do everything except read, and you know what? It's so true. The policing, the ganging up, the bullying, it's a really toxic space sometimes. Book Twitter especially, which is why I keep away from it. And I have my moments, don't get me wrong, but, you know, we all put our foot in it sometimes online, but... I do feel like, yeah, it is toxic behaviour. I'm like, all this stuff going on, all this policing and fake activism, yet you should be reading books. So the next two comments I loved. I'm really sorry these things happened to you. Some bits happened to me and to a friend with another booktuber. It was not as bad for me as the things that happened to you, but it was definitely a confusing situation. Great video, I hope it helped you talk about this. And yeah, it did. It was oddly therapeutic, and I'm sorry that happened to you. I've had a handful of negative experiences with other booktubers, but that one I think is pretty much up there. And knowing that she was the one that was I say she was, I'm pretty much 99% sure a lot of the crap that happened and drama with certain websites was down to her, because she's a user of those websites. And Eve put, it's upsetting that you can't help but wonder if every new follower is her in disguise or a troll. I hope it gets better for you. And it's true. It really does, because I said this in the other video, that when she deleted her Twitter, 4 other accounts that were following me all vanished exactly the same second. To the second. We're not talking like in a few hours. I mean, so I think, yeah, I honestly believe she had alt accounts following me. And I'm pretty sure she had one after as well, but that's a whole different discussion. Caffeinated Covers, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Booktube should be about enjoying books with other people, not High School 2.0. And that sadly sums up a lot of Booktube in so many ways. It does feel like high school. When I first joined, I expected this inclusive big space, and instead I've just found people who... I found some great people, but I've also found people that are basically high schoolers with who are like 30-year-old high schoolers. So I hope this video helped you heal from your experience. As strictly a viewer, this was horrifying to watch all the stuff that happened last year. I love your content. I'm glad you're still here. Thank you. I replied, thank you so much. And it's true. I mean, it was horrifying to watch. You'd sit there on the sidelines and be like, what the fuck? There was a lot of tweets that went out that just made me cringe. And now knowing that a lot of stuff was said about me, it's really weird. Jenna, sometimes you need to get things off your chest. I hope this helps and you feel better about trusting people more in the future. I do. I really do. I do feel better about it. It was so therapeutic and cathartic making that video and just putting it out there. It was such a weird experience.